this season's cohort, please. Yes. Woo! Welcome to the 2025 Spring Production Cohort Screening. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Kat Meow Garcia. I am your Director of Community Media here at Open Signal, which is your community media center here in Portland, Oregon, beautiful Portland, Oregon. So glad you all decided to join us today. For folks watching at home, we're going to be watching a few of, or all of the cohort's final projects. Some may be in flux, some may not be, but we're really, really excited to bring this to the airwaves and also to welcome into the community some more filmmakers, television producers, and see how they change and grow over the past 5 months, which is how long they've been training and learning and producing their own content for the channels and for beyond. We do a cohort twice a year, so there's 2 different seasons, and we did just close our cohort application process, so the next one will be coming up later on in the year. So keep your eyes open to our newsletter and to other announcements so that you can know when that's going to be open, so your friends or family who are interested can apply. If you like what you see tonight, please consider becoming a member if you're not already, or if you already are a member, consider donating maybe a little bit if this is something that you want to see continuing on into the future. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much again. I don't want to go on and on, but I'm really grateful to be here. Community media is an active revolution. We are standing up against corporate interests, creating our own stories, telling our own lives, talking about our families, our communities, and it's not beholden to any money coming from any corporation. It's coming from our hearts and our minds and our communities. So it's a really cool active revolution. I'm really proud of everyone for being here tonight to participate in this. We're going to start the night with Jay Amaechi's project. It's called More Than Just Surviving. So as the climate catastrophes intensify all around the world, Portland's Black community, historically displaced and disproportionately impacted, is leading the change for resilience. This documentary amplifies their voices, showing how residents are reclaiming power. They're transforming vulnerabilities into strength through grassroots organizing, cultural wisdom, and innovative solutions. More Than Just Surviving, the short film reveals how Portland's Black community is actively building collective resilience, rooted in heritage and self-determination, offering vital lessons for a world navigating an uncertain future. Give it up for Jay Amaechi's work.
The Kajani Collective is driving solutions that uplift Black residents through equitable policies, green sector business developments, and accessible green infrastructure. Solutions that don't just benefit Black communities, but strengthen the entire Portland region. When we build a just and resilient future for Black Portlanders, it benefits everyone. The Kajani Collective has multiple committees driving bold initiatives. The Policy Advocacy Committee informs policy focused on climate justice. This committee is developing a training program which equips Black advocates with the tools to influence environmental policies that directly impact their communities. They educate on policy, advocacy, and foster Black representation in decision-making spaces. This work ensures that policies consider the lived experiences of Black people, preventing the perpetuation of environmental injustice. The Climate Solutions Ecosystem Committee fuels Black entrepreneurship for a sustainable future. This committee supports Black entrepreneurs who are developing climate-resilient solutions and services. Through outreach, partnerships, and incubators, they provide resources to help launch and scale businesses that promote sustainability and resilience within Black communities. The Black Resilience Hub Committee builds Black spaces for connection, nature, and justice. They are focusing on establishing Black-specific resilience hubs, safe spaces where community members can gather to access essential services, nature, and each other. These hubs will support preparedness, community cohesion, and resilience in the face of climate change. And lastly, the Voice Amplification Committee shifts the narrative for collective liberation. They organize media campaigns and community events to elevate Black voices and shift narratives. By sharing lived experiences and advocating for social change, they reconnect to the collectivist mindsets that led to progress during the Civil Rights era. Their work focuses on healing, cohesion, and social justice. To find out more about our work, please visit kajanicollective.org. And now let's hear from some members of the collective.
So resilience to me means the ability to bounce back from a challenge, the ability to feel capable during a challenge, during a time of like duress. And sometimes that means being able to rely on like your inner reserves. But sometimes that means being able to rely on community, on family, on friends. Yeah, that's what resilience means to me. And it's something that can be developed.
Climate resilience. I would say, I think of self-sufficiency. I think of the greenhouse in my yard, my solar panels, my urban farm in our front yard, being able to catch rainwater to actually water our garden, not having restrictions on that. Currently, I think in Portland, there's like restrictions on catching rainwater. It's like, this is free water. I'm being charged for it going in my sewer. I'm paying for this sewer water, right? Like, why can't I catch this water and actually put it to good use to grow food? Harvesting food from my own yard, going to my grocery store in my front yard. So right now we have grapes coming in. We have a fig tree, we have a cherry tree, we have cucumbers, squash, we have chard, kale, cabbage, we have all the herbs. It makes me so happy. It brings so much joy to just go out and bring in a bowl full of Hood strawberries, the best strawberries. And to be able to just provide for our family, because it's not getting any cheaper in the grocery stores. You won't ever be able to buy this quality of food in the grocery stores ever. And it's not being injected with chemicals. It's all organic. Little backstory, it started, my dad, he was 49 and died of a heart attack. And so like dying from something that was totally preventable, but him not knowing how. He didn't know how. His doctor said, change what you're eating. And he thought that was, instead of eating 4 pieces of bacon, eat 2. Instead of eating 4 eggs, eat 2 eggs, fried eggs, And so he didn't know what that looked like. And so I've been vegetarian for 30 years. And then about 7 years ago, I went vegan. And so in that is wanting to explore more fasting and just how I can heal the inside, right? But I have a follower, the Alkaline Doula is who I started following. And that's who got me into natural birthing with my last 2. And so she promotes an alkaline diet. And so that helped me jumpstart into okay, well, what does healthy really look like? Was eating healthier, eating organic foods. That's where all my extra money goes to, is just healthier food, organic food. I don't buy myself fancy clothes or shoes. I all hand-me-down everything, because we sacrifice to make sure we're bringing quality food in when we do need to buy it. Third sacrifice. Nazir loves, he is the first one out in the yard. We're going to pick strawberries. He's the first one picking strawberries. I got to tell him, pick the red ones. Because he'll be picking all the green ones and yellow. Yeah. He loves it. Yes. Yes. And the power bill is only $15. And I think that's just a service charge, because the solar panels is taking care of all the electricity. So yeah, $15 PGE bills. Great payoff. I would say creating generational wealth with owning our property, our land, sacrificing our mortgage, mortgage and that food bill. It takes it all. But it's this land is something that we can pass down. Yep. Yeah.
My smiles and happiness are reliant on me having an environment in which I can thrive. To be able to thrive mentally, I have to be able to thrive in our environment. One of the things that I learned in therapy was the importance of being out in nature as a way to create balance, like being out by water. People say go touch grass. Well, when we pollute the environment the way that we are polluting it right now, and the cumulative impacts of that pollution, I think can be seen in the collective psyche of, people on the globe, people in America. Like, everybody's struggling with their mental health. Yeah. The environment's struggling with its mental health. Yeah. Because the environment's tired of us.
Yeah. Mental health, So I think of mental health, I think of, depression, I think about suicide ideation and preventing those things. I think about economic strife and mitigating those things. I think about doing things that are more regenerative. I think about sustainability, like growing your own food, for example. I think about group economics. I think about nationality. I think about political strategies to be able to get people out of, poverty and out of social oppression, to change their narrative, to create their own story. I would say, for me, it's having a family to build a legacy and an ethos to duplicate. So one thing that comes to my mind that we've been doing is getting into farming. We farm. So growing your own food, creating systems to add value to people, like our incubator project that we have out in Corbett, 27 acres. And prior to even getting into that space, understanding certain systems of government.
I think climate resilience means planning for our future and future generations. It means shifting our life ways to adapt to our ever-accelerating climate crisis and to find ways to, as human beings, to continue to live on this planet in a good way. The way that climate resilience makes its way into my life on a daily basis is my individual choices and decisions, which I think are less about global impact and more about my internal integrity with myself and my values, which when I align myself with my values, I feel more alive. And that includes things like eating local or, since I'm an able-bodied person, like biking into work most times, using public transit, choosing pastimes and activities that aren't carbon intensive. But when it comes to trying to make a larger impact, I think of my work, which is environmental justice work, as a part of a continuum of a movement that's tied to climate justice work, but is working at a local scale. And a component of that work is helping people think dynamically and in systems as to tie their life and their action and their experience into a collective experience and into an experience that is tied in with the action of institutions and other actors. And when people are able to think on a longer time horizon and about future generations and not just themselves, not just their current generation, but their children and their children's children. And then public dialogue, public discourse, and our policies are responding to people's input, then those two things can be paired together to enable us to collectively move forward.
All right, usually I tell everybody what's going to happen at this event, so I missed that part. So what's going to happen is we're going to watch really great content like we just saw with great tips about environmentalism and how we can make some impacts. And then we're going to call up the artist, the creator, so that they can take questions from the audience and get these really snazzy certificates honoring your accomplishments. So may I please call up Jay Amaechi, please. Oh, hello, Mike. And sorry if I messed it up the first time. Your last name is important. Jay Amaechi. Congratulations. Hopefully there aren't any questions. Are there questions? Raise your hand, please. Great, no questions. Oh, damn. And wait for the mic, thanks. It's coming.
Hey, I have a question for you about how long this story was in you, like blossoming and wanting and waiting to be told.
That's a good question. I mean, I've been involved in climate resilience work for a while, and when I was applying, I knew that I wanted to do something around climate resilience. So yeah, I guess I don't know, a year or so. It's been kind of mulling around in there, but of course, it wasn't really concrete until the cohort. So thanks.
May I ask, did it shift at all once you were in the cohort, or were you pretty much just like on the track from when you entered the cohort?
It did kind of shift in the sense that, I started to think about a bunch of different ideas, and I was like, I can go this way, I can go that way. But then sort of settled on an idea overall. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you plan to go from here with all of this?
So the Kajani Collective is a collective that's ongoing, and we do a lot of work. I'm on the Resilience Hub Committee. Kalima, who is in the documentary and is also here, is on the Voice Amplification Committee, which I'm also a member of. And so I'll be doing that work ongoing. We're planning a conference in fall, and so one of the reasons why I wanted to do this program was just to be able to have the access to the equipment, but also the skills to be able to do this in an ongoing way. So I sort of see this as the beginning.
Cool.
So, as also a person that's also in activist spaces as well, I think that what the Kajani Collective and overall climate resilience work is vitally important. In terms of the expansion, is there a possibility that you would also be willing to talk to both young and established activist organizations to create a larger initiative for an urban farming full commission that's centered around BIPOC wellness, or something of that nature?
I think this thing, so I don't know what's going on. Put it closer. I think opposite. I don't know what's going on with that. The folks in the Kajani Collective most of us come from larger organizations. I work at Unite Oregon, which is a fairly large advocacy organization. And so a lot of us joined sort of with the intention of bringing our day jobs into the work. And there's a lot of folks who are really into urban farming, so I could definitely see something like that. I used to do an apprenticeship at Mudbone. I also did urban farming and have dreams of, eventually having my own commune and growing my own everything and all that kind of stuff. So I would love to see something like that. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful.
questions?
All right, a round of applause for Jay Amaechi. And I want to remind all the cohort participants to please stick around after the program, because in the lobby we're going to be giving you some really great gifts to take home with you to help you continue on your production journeys, plural. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Alexander Henriquez. Their project is called In the Weeds. In the Weeds is a story of coming to terms with queer and neurodivergent identity in a world that so often creates conditions for sickness in marginalized people. These characters are not meant to be role models. They're messy, human, challenging. Their story is ultimately about processing grief and moving forward despite living in a society that sets them up to fail. So a round of applause for Alexander Henriquez, In the Weeds.
It's all so pointless. Nobody cares. Everyone is alone. But that doesn't matter. They're all counting on me, even though they don't know it. Maybe this is just the beginning of something. A beautiful new thing, emerging out of all the ugliness that was my dumb little life. I'm happy now. I finally know that there isn't anything holding me back anymore. I can breathe now. At last. I know what I have to do. Such a nice day, isn't it? A perfect day. Even though the monsters sit on the throne while their movies and TV and radios convince us it's the end of the world. To them, the planet's just a wet market, butchering our lives into endless bloody labor. The hatred, the murder, the domination, that's what shakes them from their mausoleums every morning, beds them every night. The unspeakable yearly salary is just a bonus. They'll burn this whole country to ashes and say it was for the shareholders. Their guns are red hot, shoved into our backs in silence. They try to keep us quiet. I'll never not kick and fucking scream. Never mind. What's the point? I've screamed so loud for such a long time. No one hears me. No one cares to hear me. It's all so pointless. It's all so pointless. Except for this. This is what I was born to do. Who I was made to be in this pitiful, sick, broken world. Because I finally know what's actually real. And that makes me feel at peace. Someone has to stop them. The billionaires selling us nothing, taking our everything, landfills full of food but kids are still starving, insurance companies, CEOs and presidents. They're all cameras and microphones and hot lights and groundbreaking and pledges, but they're always cutting people to ribbons in their bedrooms.
No! No. 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 Don't do that to me. I know what I have to do. Nothing else matters.
John! I'm not mad anymore! I just need to know you're still here! Fuck! John!
Hello?
Hello, is this Ellum?
Who is this?
I'm John's friend. Has he called you? Has he said anything alarming to you over the last few weeks?
John doesn't have any friends. Who is this?
My name is Vale. I'm really worried about John. I'm calling you because he needs our help.
That kid has always been trouble. Serves him right.
I'm serious. I'm calling you because he could die. He really hasn't talked to you?
John hasn't spoken to me in years.
That can't be true. He calls you every few months.
It's news to me. You notice John isn't the most trustworthy or reliable.
You're his only family. Don't you care?
Hey, you don't know me. And you obviously don't know John. Here's some advice, though. Forget about him. They're no good. Believe me, I practically raised their ungrateful ass.
John is sick. I'm worried about him. I love him.
You're a saint or a lunatic, kiddo. Trust me, there's no hope for that one. Might as well move on before John breaks your heart in two. You sound queer.
Excuse me?
Don't call this number again. And don't worry about John. Just a waste of time. Lost cause. Move on, kiddo. I did a long time ago.
Ooh, powerful. In the Weeds by Alexander Henriquez. Please come on up. Holy moly. Woo, powerful. Wow. So same thing. We're going to ask some questions. I have one for you that's kind of maybe obvious.
Yeah.
Where was this filmed? That was a beautiful location.
Yes. When I wrote the script, I had an idea to film it at someplace with a train track. I was talking with Melissa, the cohort advisor, and she showed me this article. Oh yeah, this article from, I don't know, Metro, from back in the day, where it said that they decommissioned the railroad tracks that were right outside the Oregon Zoo. It was a portion of tracks that they used to, take folks around. They stopped using it years and years ago. And I was looking at the pictures and I was like, that's our spot. That was amazing. And, just from an article that Melissa showed me. I really wish we could have shown you guys the other part, the second half of this short film that we did. We went way the heck out into Troutdale and filmed at Chinook Landing Marine Park. We did the whole thing, mostly the whole thing, under an electrical tower and at a disc golf course. I wrote this project back in 2020 during the height of the pandemic when I was feeling really helpless, just like seeing, all the stuff that was happening in the world around me. And I wanted to articulate that sort of rage. And I feel like the character played by Zephyr, John, is definitely, a voice for those feelings. And the character Vale is, a person in their life who loves them and is, in a lot of ways, the collective voice of my therapist, people who have shown me, love despite my, navigating mental health issues and stuff as well as my queer identity. Let me just get a really quick speech here, really quick. Big shout out to Brianna, who was the best PA and mic operator. Check out their film, Killing Kyle. Thank you to Zephyr for committing to this project. We worked back in the day on a play together, and they expressed interest, and that kept me going. Vega, your amazing talent and depth of emotional expression never failed to touch me. Thank you so much for doing this project. Damien, who's not here, they were the voice of Ellum. Amazing talent. Check them out on stage as their drag performance name, Woody Banter. And thanks to Zach for doing our background photos. Thank you for continuing to show us the world through your art. Melissa, thank you so much for dealing with just like the wildness that has been my schedule. Without your guidance and experience, this project would not have happened. And thank you to Open Signal for giving me the opportunity to use some really nice equipment to make this project happen. As you can tell, it's not complete. We still have a few scenes to film. When I roped these guys into this situation, I told them we probably wouldn't be done until October, and that is the truth. We still have some work to do. We're gonna be filming. I'm looking for a lot of extras to come and join us at our shoot at Laurelhurst Park. So if you're interested in that, please come and talk to me and I will collect your information. We'll get you out there when we do that filming. We are doing sound. We need folks with that, and really excited to get this polished up and sent off to some film festivals by the end of the year, because these folks have so much talent, and I want the world to see that. Thank you guys so much. And I will take questions. Now I will take questions. Yeah.
Second leading, thank you. That's actually Zephyr. Is this? Yeah? Yeah, okay. I know I'm in it, so I should totally know this. But how long are you planning on the final piece being? Because I expected us to get at least the scenes we've shot so far, and we like 10 minutes, and we didn't get there yet. So I'm curious how long the end product is going to look.
You know, I've got a rough cut, and with the footage that we've shown, or the footage that we've collected so far, and the editing that I've, just sort of slapped it together, it's about 25 minutes long.
Okay.
Ideally, this is going to be a 15 to 20 minute project. Okay. I conceptually always imagined it as like a complete short film. But obviously, like, we've literally spent weeks and days filming, and we have so much footage. It's going to be really cool to have all of that prepared to, just like look at all the different like takes there were. It would be really cool to put a compilation of all the bloopers and stuff, because y'all are adorable behind the scenes. But ideally 15 to 20 minutes. But I mean, there's just so much. Look at the material.
I know, just make it a movie at this point, right? Honestly.
Yeah.
Just make it
So.
Any other questions? Cool.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. I was thinking when we were watching it, never have birds tweeting in the forest felt so lonely and isolated. Yeah. Ooh, it's great. All right, folks. So again, if you love what you've been seeing today, if it's inspiring to you, if you're like, wow, I never thought I'd see this on the big screen, and you really appreciate it, please come on out to our event, Amplify PDX, on August 9th. We'd love to see you there. We'd love for you to connect with other creatives and people who are passionate about social justice here in Portland, Oregon. With that said, our next cohort up is Corinne Johansson, and her project is called Adventures with Eric. Adventures with Eric explores decades of adventures with her best friend, Eric, and the brutal everyday impact of grief after he died on February 5th, 2024. Corinne has always operated from the "I got this, I don't need help" mantra, so living with grief has been tough and has required a change in mindset and even community. Her hope is that someone like her will see her story and ask and let others help. So without further ado, Adventures with Eric by Corinne Johansson.
When I think of Eric, I think of adventure. Whether flailing around the house to New Order, over-the-top college road trips to Seattle and Portland, photo shoots, jet setting, including that VIP party in London, where Groove is in the Heart was the soundtrack for the trip, or exploring the entire West Coast from Seattle and Tacoma to Southern California, we always found exciting new things to try. One of the special things about Eric was that no matter how much each of us changed or what was going on in the world, we always had a connection. Decades after college, in late 2019, I showed up in Tacoma. Eric was already in nearby Olympia and soon moved north. Even though we were decades into our friendship, we were still bouncing around the city like our usual selves, attending art walks and house music nights before the news got strange and scary, and we realized that our freeform explorations were on hold for a while. Eric was basically my pod in the pandemic. Mostly I was isolating at home, but I kept sane via periodic meetups with Eric to to grab cocktails or food at Alma Mater or the Koi. Eric was also the impetus for house music-fueled road trips, including the Oregon coast. Shortly after the pandemic was over, I returned to a life of snow-focused fun in Hood River, and Eric revisited blazing hot Phoenix. One of the ways that we stayed in touch was via Eric's newfound obsession with reels. His game plan was to create a side hustle or more using videos plus his decades of experience as a travel agent. So I was able to follow along as he hiked across Arizona as his new outdoorsy persona. Despite our disparate locations, I was heading down to LA several times every year to cat sit, have art shows, and more. Often this coincided with his visits to his family in Seal Beach, so we still had chances to explore sushi, shopping, and other delights of urban life. Christmas 2022 was the last time I actually saw Eric. His family adopted me and his brother's friend into their traditional Nordic Christmas Eve celebrations. We also explored Southern California, snapping shots and capturing videos of the beach and other destinations. Late in 2023, life shifted drastically. Eric went in the hospital around Thanksgiving, got out, and I thought he was out of the woods. But a few weeks later, Eric's mom called me to say Eric was in the hospital, and his dad relayed that the doctor said he might not make it through the night. Everything seemed like utter chaos, and my head was spinning. Terrified, I looked into red-eye flights, but one was going to cost more than $1,000, way out of my price range after getting laid off months earlier and barely working since then. When Eric survived that night, but was still in a bad state, I settled into a state of gloom, not knowing what to expect, but not feeling good about his chances. Talking to him made me alternate between being hopeful and feeling doomed. I was glad he was well enough to chat, but terrified that he kept saying how scared he was. I shopped for his Christmas present, a Where's Andy book that reminded me of one Halloween where he dressed up as Warhol. Thinking of a potential future gave me hope. Until his mom called on February 5th to tell me that the home nurse they had hired had arrived to find him dead. Losing him meant losing access to memories I thought we would be making and moments of recalling the ones we did. Grief didn't start with Eric. I still haven't completely processed the deaths of my parents. With them and with Eric, there were months of anticipatory grief. This meant that when Eric died, I had only partially developed tools for coping. After Eric died, I jumped right back into doing as a way to blunt the pain. Rushing up to the mountain, taking up new creative outlets. Grief isn't something you want to live with alone. Trust me. I have lived most of my life with the mindset of, I don't need help, I got this. The group Waves of Grief had been on my radar forever. One day, shortly after Eric passed, I noticed that there was a session at Owen Beach in Tacoma, which was one of Eric's happy places. So I raced up I-5 for the event and remembered that healing grief via movement in nature is often the perfect solution for me. Connecting with others who were open to expressing their grief and feeling the calm that I feel next to the ocean was healing in a way that many of the more talk-based groups where you meet up in stuffy rooms was not. When I hike near my home, I remember Eric's newfound passion for the outdoors. Here are some gifts grief has given me. Re-exploring film and video as a creative path. I was invited to the Open Signal intro session for this production cohort, and we were asked to talk about our topic. I had to think on my feet. Since grief was at the top of my mind, I talked about creating this project to explore losing Eric and my subsequent grief. If you need support, there are resources available through this QR code. And remember, life is short, so make time for adventures that light you up, and say no to anything that keeps you down.
Wow, Karin. Get me to get weepy over here. Come on up and get your amazing certificate, which you totally deserve. Karin Johansson. Cool. We'll move so folks can ask questions. If you can stand up right in front of that mic.
Sure.
Questions for Karin?
I went the wrong way.
I saw there was a lot of, footage from your various adventures you went on, and I was curious what it was like for you to sort through all of those photos and videos, and kind of how, both with an eye for filmmaking and as a person.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, because I feel like it was hard sometimes. I mean, sometimes it was joyous, remembering good times, and other times it was just remembering that as I mentioned in the production, that's not going to happen again with Eric, right? And so I do feel though going through that process helps with my healing. So I feel like there were times that I was kind of slowed down on the production because it was so hard to face some of that stuff. And so I do some work and then I'd kind of have to take a break, But I think, ultimately that it was a really good way to process the grief, even though it was difficult at times.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. I thought this was really cool. I thought your kind of artistic montages, or just kind of moments of you being in the studio. The lighting was really cool. I could feel your artistic voice come through. And I thought, it just reminded me of just how cool this medium is, and that you can create something so personal, and it kind of straddled the line between almost narrative, but or almost like a fiction a little bit, but still obviously being real, something from your experience, but it was really felt, and just want to share those my thoughts. So yeah, great work.
Thank you.
I think I saw another question up here. I went the wrong way again, taking the long route.
Not wholly a question, kind of a comment / question. as another person that has an unconventional relationship with grief, I thought that this way of presenting it as both the celebration but also recognizing the poignancy of the pain of loss, while also creating a mosaic of time spent, was very powerful and very beautiful. Is there a way of doing that in other artistic media? Are you currently like doing other things to kind of I don't know, other than, you know, going and processing it? Does it come out in other aspects of your art?
You know, I'm not really sure that it has as much. I feel like there was just a really intense focus. My background is as a photographer and a writer, and so yeah. I feel like in a way that I actually sort of avoided some of the grief, and it literally was committing to doing the cohort and everything. That was like, okay, this is real. I guess I'm doing this now. But yeah, I think I may have sort of avoided it a bit. I mean, one thing, I do have plans to kind of continue to look at grief in other productions. I'm have talked to some people about kind of further sort of episodes of this, and you know, we'll look at grief at the death component, but also other types of grief. It happens that a lot of people I know have been laid off recently, and just like, I'm just, you know, feel their grief from that. I also talked to a coach that I know who is neuro-divergent, and we're talking about kind of like how the grief experience can be different for people who are neurodivergent than perhaps others. So, yeah.
Thank you.
My question is, like, watching it made me feel a lot of different emotions. Like, it made me kind of just want to jump in a car and like be adventurous with my friends, and like different kinds of emotions. But I was just kind of curious if whether making it or like just the idea in general and the product like if you had a certain type of feeling you wanted to evoke in people who are watching.
You know, honestly, I feel like it sort of was processing my own grief in a way, and so I feel like, in a way, like what I presented was just the entire scope of all those different parts of grief and the happy moments, and so I can't really say that I had a strong intent, I guess, in terms of what I hoped others would get out of it. I hope that it would be valuable for people, particularly I think if they were people like myself who've always been sort of like, oh, I got this, and have been kind of like less inclined to reach out to community and just to kind of do it on their own. So.
One more round of applause, please, for Karen. A beautiful piece. I definitely echo the many, many feelings coming up as we're watching that, and I'm sure Eric would be like, this was badass. Very cool. Very cool tribute. All right, next up, we have Alexandra Ramos's piece called The Last Vampire in Portland. This is a dark comedy mockumentary, and it follows one weekend in the life of a vampire. Anna Kaona, or Anna maybe, has lived in Portland for 50 years and works as a school teacher. She is of Taino descent, yay Taino, exclusively lives off the blood of white people because reparations never really happened, and can't stand the imperialist U.S. She lives in Portland because of its frequent overcast rain and its natural beauty. This mockumentary shows her day-to-day life, from her job to how she participates in Portland nightlife and what she does to decompress from the strains of being a U.S. resident. Without further ado, Alexandra Ramos, Last Vampire in Portland.
Hello, I am the director of the film you're going to be watching shortly. This is an incomplete work. Our subject agreed to be documented, but after learning that this was completely unpaid, demanded that we omit certain parts of her life, such as her job, and that we stop filming until we have acquired more funding. She also requested that we ask for her permission before each screening, which means you are watching this because for some reason she has decided you are a suitable audience. This project is focused on a very unique subject. There truly is no one else like her out in the entire world. This film is meant to give you a glimpse into her life and for you to look at the human similarities between you and someone not so human. I hope that this film inspires you to look at life in a new way and reminds you to look at the simple, mundane parts of it, and that regardless of our age, we are all experiencing humanity for the very first time. So, thank you and enjoy the film. Okay, so we're just gonna start with the basics. Your name, your occupation, where you're from, and finally your age. And just talk to me. Ignore the camera.
My name is Ana Kaona, and I expect correct pronunciation.
Could we hold for, there's a car going by? Could we just...
Are you serious? ¿Quién es este pinche gringo? ¿Por qué está hablando? You're really gonna let him talk to you? You're in charge. Can you hear me now? Little whitey?
Anna, there was a car that went by.
Talk again, you'll be my next meal. My name is Ana Kaona, and I expect correct pronunciation unless you're white. I cannot expect colonizers to know how to pronounce my name because their brains are too poisoned. I'm an elementary school teacher here in Portland, although I've had many different occupations over the years. Originally, I'm from what you call Cuba, though I've lived all over the world before landing in this one. I'm 22 years old, but was born in 1470. Yes, I am a vampire. Yes, I drink blood. Only white people, though.
Why only white blood?
Ew, why are you saying it like it's a preference? I only drink the blood of white people because did reparations happen, yes or no? Exactly. The least they could do is keep me alive after decimating most of Indigenous American people. So no, I don't feel guilty about it either.
Oh, why did you try to drink my blood then?
Well, I saw you walking around and I was a little bit hungry, and I heard you on the phone saying, "Talk to you later, Mom," so I just assumed you were white.
You thought I was white because I don't speak Spanish?
You don't speak Spanish?
Spanish is a colonizer language anyway.
You know what's the worst colonizer language? English.
Okay, I just need to adjust your mic. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. So, is this gonna be on like Telemundo or something? Telemundo. You don't. You don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, it kind of rings a bell. Sorry.
You're really not Latina.
Excuse me. Not? So why Portland, out of all places you could live?
I'm here to see the downfall of another empire, and what better city than this one? I saw the French Revolution happen in real time, and they didn't even have usable guns back then. Yeah, some crazy shit is about to go down here. It's also easy for me to blend in with all the weird freaks that live here.
Hey, do y'all know where Anna went?
Really? Okay, no, we cannot lose a vampire out here. Like, y'all, where? What is she doing? Anna, Anna. No, come back.
See, they're not dead. I don't kill every person I hunt. You just had to assume I'm killing all the whites I can. I don't do that. Not since 1983, at least. Well, I did have a brief 4-year period in 2016. I'll let you guess why.
Is that our sound person?
They're white, aren't they?
We had an agreement.
I'm sorry? It's hot as out here. Well, that's global warming for ya.
Yeah. We're pretty doomed. Yeah. So where are we?
I don't know, I thought I'd take you guys to my favorite spot. I like to come here and enjoy the silence. For Taínos, our connection to nature is important. We recognize its strength and how it gives life to all that has ever existed. Spending time among the trees reminds me of home, even though they look different.
So how did you come about being a vampire?
Well, the demon known as Christopher Columbus first encountered our people on his arrival to the New World. Disease and death happened so quickly that our elders and priests knew we were destined to all die out. In a last attempt to save our culture, they created an immortality elixir. About 5 of us survived drinking it, and were never the same again.
Wait, so there's more vampires?
Oh no, they're all dead. They decided to take their own lives after seeing how the Western world never stopped their cruelty towards indigenous people, even hundreds of years after we had to become vampires to survive that. The last one died in 1922.
Oh my God.
Yeah, colonization was that bad to witness. We escaped our island after Columbus did irreversible damage. We lived in Tenochtitlan for a bit, though. Living there was fun. Until Hernan Cortez got them too, of course.
So the most important question, what is drinking blood like?
It's quite simple. I like to take some empty water bottles with me when I go out hunting. Then I siphon the blood so that I have enough for the week. I like to use these reusable cups because it's inconspicuous and I blend in with all the Oregonians. This is my entire collection. Gotta have different colors for each season, you know?
So what does blood taste like for you?
White people taste quite salty, believe it or not. So I like to squeeze a little bit of lime into the bottles. It tastes like what I imagine a margarita tastes like. COVID blood was nasty as though. So nasty that I became an infectious disease expert and was part of the team responsible for creating the vaccine. Yeah, you have me to thank for that.
How does drinking work for you? Or is it the same as a human?
So in humans, alcohol is absorbed through the body at about 1 drink per hour. I have no blood. When I drink, my body absorbs 100% of the liquor. I have no taste for anything other than blood, so liquor tastes the same as water would for a human. I always black out. Do I care though? Not really. I live in the US and like to black out enough to forget that. All right, first shot of the night. Take a shot with me, just one.
That's unethical. I'm here to document you, not drink.
A US citizen who cares about ethics? Funny.
1 shot, that's it.
friends and the beach, and I should have killed Christopher Columbus when I had the chance, but it wouldn't have even mattered because he would have sent more of their conquistador demons. Salud.
Do you really think anyone's gonna believe this documentary? Because I don't look like Edward Cullen, Nosferatu, or Dracula.
I certainly hope so. Vampires aren't just white people.
Vampires aren't white at all. You really think the same Europeans who didn't use soap for hundreds of years invented immortality elixir? To avoid copyright infringement, I was told I have to do a voiceover in this part since I had music playing. So I will be reacting to my drunken blackout. I don't have a single recollection of this, but I also drank an entire bottle of tequila, so... Never let me dance on camera again. This is so shameful.
We're going to one of Portland's rat clubs tonight because white people are genetic mutation. I refuse to party with them, but for one more shot.
We are not going to the nightclub with a full camera crew.
Who said the crew's invited, especially the white crew?
Anna, you are not going to the club. You are too drunk.
The footage! I'm not even getting paid for this.
Can we go to the club? Or not, why?
I could use a drink.
No! No, just turn the cameras off. You guys take a
Let's just
shower.
go.
No.
Whoa. What happened to you last night?
Don't act like drunk munchies have never happened to you. Blacking out may not be fake for me, but having a hangover is. I feel amazing right now. I've never even heard of drinking liquor before. Despite not being hungover, I do like to take some time to go outdoors, relax, and try to forget whatever happened last night. I can't lie, Oregon does have better qualities than its high white population, aka my meals, especially when it involves getting away from them. I actually really enjoy the waterfalls here in Oregon. Back home, I loved exploring the island to find them, but with the sun, I can't really go out looking for them anymore. Here, the sun is shaded enough most days that I'm okay. It's nice to remember even these small memories of home.
So I have to ask, you're still living among humans, so there must be some things you like about them. Tell me, what's one thing you admire about humans?
Well, once I get over how disgusting, self-centered, and downright embarrassing they are, I find some genuinely admirable traits. Their resilience, for example, it's inspiring. When I was still human, my people's greatest worries were that we would be lost to colonization. There would be none of our knowledge left, none of us left, that we would be lost to time forever. I see our descendants though, and I'm beyond proud. The strength is still there despite everything we endured. To see that they make up so much of American culture today is mesmerizing. Although there have been, and there still are, dark moments, I'm grateful to have witnessed the journey. The strength of Taino never left. I still feel it to this day. To me, that's a comfort that words could never fully express.
Wow, that's actually kind of beautiful.
In 1976, I was a best-selling poet and author. Of course, it was beautiful.
Well, anything else you want to say as a send-off?
If you want to see more of me, be sure to donate to the fundraiser today.
There is no fundraiser.
What the f? Why not? You want me to give up my life story for a short film? There isn't even a chance for a series? You better start that fundraiser today. The f? Cut the camera. Come on. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not even getting paid for this. Like, I need to go. I'm gonna go.
I guess cut? Yeah. Camera cut.
All right, one more round of applause for Alexander Ramos. And of course, we have a little certificate. Please come on up. Oh my goodness. I've never laughed so hard. Here you are.
Thank you. Okay, I'm nervous, y'all. So here's me, the real director, not the one you saw up there. Oh, it's me, the real director. Yeah, I guess I wanted to just give thank yous to the people that deserve it, obviously. My crew, you guys were so wonderful. Jenny, thank you for being my dead white person. Well, not dead white person. And for an amazing sound person. Super crisp, loved it. Josie and Abby and Sai and Phil, who's not here, and Gabe, thank you so much. You guys' knowledge helped me like beyond, and this film wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for y'all's help. And then Dominique and Susie. You guys did so great at bringing these very oddball characters to life, and amazing job. I couldn't have asked to direct any better actors than y'all. And then thank you to Melissa. You're the best. Melissa's the one who kept this going, y'all. Cause that cohort had me. But I made it through because Melissa's the one who really like supported my idea. And then also thank you to my friends that are here. I hope you guys saw yourselves in the film, and you guys, I don't even have enough thanks for y'all. Y'all are the reason the concept exists in the first place. Why I'm so proud of my like Latina heritage, and this is for y'all in a way. Okay. But yeah, that's my thanks. So I guess question part.
I was ready to donate. Where's the fundraiser link?
Hopefully there will be one. I do want to, even though there was a joke about a series, one day I would love to, put this into episodes, show y'all more of Ana Cajona and, her life for real. Thank you.
Do you do stand-up comedy anywhere?
That is such a nice compliment. No, I do not, but I got a lot to say in case y'all couldn't tell. But no, thank you so much. This is also, I ain't done comedy before. Usually drama's my thing, so thank God it went well.
I guess I had a follow-up question to that in terms of your comedy, but was wondering what your writing process is like. Like, how do you collect them over time, and then how do you put them together into this kind of production?
I guess like writing wise, a lot of these ideas are kind of what I believe in generally. So it was a little easy to write it. And then I guess like, I kind of have this, like I think about pre-colonial heritage a lot. I think about what the world would have been had, the demon conquistadors never took that rinky-dink ship over. And I guess I wanted a character that really like pushed that to the forefront. Like, this is her whole identity, and she's like, we hear about history that happened long before us, but she's lived through it all. And just like how her perspective would be unique. And I have my ideas being someone that lives now, but like if I lived then, what would that be like? So I guess it was a lot of like putting myself in like her kind of shoes. And then, like I mentioned, me and my friends, we make a lot of jokes. We love our like Latino heritage. So like when you're constantly surrounded by that, I was like, you know, how do we push that to the max? And you know, just kind of like, yeah, lots of different life influences, some personal ideas, and just like pushing it further with this character. So yeah, I hope that answers it.
Question over here.
I was just gonna ask, like, what was the process of coming up with that character, Anacaona? Like, where did you come up with that concept for the character, and like, what was the process of like fleshing out her backstory? What did that look like?
Yeah, so interesting backstory. I graduated college in 2022, and I made some short films in that time. They were not good, y'all. In fact, they were pretty bad. But one of the first like films I really tried to do in 2020 was something else called Weekend with Vampires, plural. And I knew for sure I wanted like a Latina vampire, but I wanted them to be like, I don't know, like stupid college kids type vampires, because that's what I was. And I just knew I wanted her to be Latina, but I didn't really have like a fleshed out history. And yeah, fast forward to like kind of the cohort time, I knew I wanted to apply. I didn't know what I wanted to apply with. And I was like, you know, like I really like that old story, but it needs a lot of work. And yeah, so that 2020 film kind of morphed into this. And yeah, that's where kind of Anacaona comes out. I was like, I want her, like this Latina vampire, I want her to be central. And I want her history to be really fleshed out. Like, this is, like, I just need it to be very, very important and unapologetically, like, someone ethnic. And I chose, like, Taino descent, which is, like, the area of, like, Cuba, Haiti, Puerto Rico, specifically because my background, I'm Puerto Rican, and I don't know, I just, like, yeah, Columbus obviously did his number all throughout that area, but, like, I felt like Latino or Taino heritage kind of, like, got brushed over a lot, and I don't know, it tells, like, a greater history, just that one identity itself, and I feel like it was an identity that a lot of other people, I guess, could see themselves in, like, and yeah, I really wanted this film to kind of feel like, for other, like, ethnic people, like, kind of that, like, yeah, we've been thinking that shit too. Wait, ooh, that stuff too. And, yeah, I really wanted, like, ethnic heritage to be the central of this and to not make it feel like a background voice, that even, like, random horror characters could have that kind of background too. So, yeah. Thank y'all.
Cool. I want to see Anna go. I want to see her day life, like teaching little students, right? Oh, lovely. Okay, for our last but not least cohort production, we're gonna watch Shalala Williams, Living with Cancer. So while the imagery is strong, it illustrates what can happen when you delay things. It's a story of cultural loss and rediscovery through faith. And their battle with cancer is a reflection of their spiritual and cultural values, highlighting strength and commitment to keep striving for personal growth. So this is Living with Cancer, Shalala Williams.
In my early 20s, I once said out loud in front of my grandmother, "I'm scared for the future." She quickly responded, "Don't you ever question the Creator's path for you. He knows what He has in store for you." The only thing about her response was, she didn't hesitate to put me in my place. Her confidence in her words and in her faith and in her teachings have been engraved in me since I was a child.
The direction of who you are, who I am, who do I belong to, and it shows you.
My English name is Shalea Williams. My Indian name is Tamutsanmai. I'm an enrolled member of the Confederated Tribes, the Umatilla, Walla Walla, and Cayuse bands. And I am currently living with stage 4 cancer. About ready to go into war. You know, I didn't tell a lot of people that I have stage 4 cancer. I don't know, because it doesn't feel surreal sometimes. I feel like this is like a bump in the road or something, or I don't feel like I want to have any sort of pity of some sort. You know, when this film comes out, I most definitely will again, but I don't know. I don't know why I want to tell people, you know, maybe the same reason why I didn't want to go to the doctor right away, you know?
And so you sort of put it aside. I don't know what, we never found the word.
Because it's irresponsible. If you think about it, like, you talk to a lot of natives, they're like, I don't go to the doctor. I won't get things checked out. I felt even before cancer, I was talking about in my speech about how I kind of stepped back from my traditions, my culture, after my grandma passed. It was felt disconnected, and I knew that mentally, but I'd always make excuses up for myself, like, oh, I don't have enough money to go home this round, and maybe some of it was partly true, but there could always be, you know, a way to make your ceremonies. So, you know, I've been really meditating more, looking for more deep truth in my traumas. I feel that, you know, regardless of how I was, you know, treating myself, eating good, exercising daily, no alcohol, you can't mask up emotions. You can't mask those things up. You can hide them, but eventually, you know, that's not good. I've been silent. I feel like my growth is being, I feel like I'm at a crossroads where I feel like this could be where creators like, hey, you know, do you want to step into your role that you're supposed, that I planned out for you, or, you know, should we start over? And what does that mean? That means death, kind of, you know, like. Yeah, and I think after all that excitement of these last 2 days, my body's finally like, oh, you can like relax. Because I've been waking up like with my jaws just clenched. You know when you're like so nervous about something? Yeah. So I took off on this run. So the Peace and Dignity Journey is a run that has been going on, gosh, for the last couple of decades. And they start from Alaska, and this is the biggest run there is. They start from Alaska and they make their way all the way down to Colombia. And 4 years ago, they only do this every 4 years. So 4 years ago, they asked me, and this was during a pandemic, to hold the Eagle staff while running. And the Eagle staff is the most important part of this run. It was an honor, actually. It was an honor to be asked to greet the runners in. And I don't know, I was in my highest fitness level. I wanted to keep running. So I talked to my friend Julian Joseph, and she's like, hey, we'll support you. Go. And so I had that night to pack my bag. I found a ride. Yes, this is where I found out I had cancer. And I have a smile because there's nothing I could do about it. You know? there was a lady giving massages. She was a doctor of some sort, and she was the one that told me, she goes, hey, I think that might be a tumor. And I was like, nah, that's impossible. I go, I take care of myself. I can't have a tumor. So in my mind, I was thinking, I could probably get it checked out in Mexico. But after that, I went all the way down as far as Chumash territory. And it was amazing because it was a spiritual run, and I can't explain all the amazing things that happened to me. Like the day they told me, I was just like, it was like in a movie, like you just hear like that deaf tone, like you just can't function. It was so wild, you know, like.
Visit. Imagine being bedridden for 5 months, not being able to get up out of the bed and go to the shop or the store or a concert or anything. All you had to do was just lay there and sleep. Like, chemo literally makes you a whole different person. Like, I didn't want to associate with nobody. The friends that did come over, I'm grateful. Thank you so much for the friends that come to see me. But majority of the time, I felt like I felt like a zombie. I had friends, we had parties at Jolene's, and the place that I would go hide out would be the room. I'd close the door, and I didn't want to talk to anybody. I don't know why.
So where they had to keep poking me, and that's what I didn't like. It was a random, constant, like, one and two. So when he pushes that saline into my heart, it feels like my heart just like fluctuates to it.
Actually, let's see. Do you want trucks, hearts, or dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs.
That's the correct answer.
Well, you know, when you ring the bell after your radiation, when you ring the bell, when you're all done with it all, you think you're done. I really thought I was just done. But they have this like 3-month period where you have to get a checkup on your lungs, because they say the lungs is the first place the cancer travels to. So I had a scan 3 months later, and I don't know, I had this pit feeling that it wasn't going to be good. And yeah, sure enough, the doctor came in, and they just had this, like, the energy was just so like heavy. They weren't their chipper selves, because normally they're really happy and they have jokes, but they came in and it was so heavy. And they told me that the nodule in my lung was still there, and they found another cancer in my leg behind my knee. So like, shit. But I told my friend, I go, you know what, I'm going to be ready this time. I'm not going to be in denial. I'm going to be ready this time, and I'm going to accept everything. And yeah, long story short, I'm still here. So, but the journey itself has been quite life-changing.
Powerful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodness.
I wasn't prepared for this. I don't have a speech, but we can sing a song. Y'all want to sing just like at the end? Nah, I'm just kidding. So originally, I had a different idea in this cohort. I was supposed to be filming the Future Generations Collaborative and their story on the land back. But during that time, all of this stuff was happening at the same time, so that was kind of a big overload on myself, my health, my schedule, everything. So Melissa kind of steered me into, hey, let's just tell your story. You have a story to tell, let's do it. So I'm calling this a rough draft for right now, because it's a continuous story right now. And honestly, I am grateful to be here right now with you guys. And yeah, so I do want to thank my good friends for coming tonight. I know they're crying. I didn't get to talk about like the seizures, the grand mal seizures that I had, and I'm so thankful that my friends were sitting there with me, because they were there in a empty room by myself. If they weren't there, I would have had a seizure by myself. So they were there sitting with me, and it happened, and I want to thank them. You know, thank you for being there, and you know, it means a lot. But I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know what to say right now. But yeah. Any questions, please? It's a tough one. I know it's a sensitive subject. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for the graphic pictures. Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you for being so brave and sharing your story, just in this process here, and just thank you for you. Thank you for your life, you know. Yeah. I guess my question is, what do you feel like having seen this on the screen now? Just.
Well, I mean, my goal, or the way I see it, because I really still haven't told anybody. If I see you in person, I will open up if I feel like it. But a lot of people don't know my stage. I have stage 4 right now. So this was just kind of maybe a kind of an opener to tell people, you know, or how am I handling it, you know, because there's a lot of people that are kind of, I could see where the depression could be, you know what I mean? But I can also see the beauty. You know, just seeing my friends and looking in their eyes, it's like nothing I've ever felt anymore, you know? You just feel things differently. Yeah. I don't know if I answered that, but yeah.
Thank you. Hi. First of all, incredible, like just so incredible. I don't actually have a question. I just wanted to take a second to appreciate just everything that was just shown. Not only the story that is so gorgeous and so inspiring, but also like the skill that went into producing a piece like that. I mean, fantastic audio quality, fantastic visuals, fantastic editing. I mean, it was compelling. It was, I mean, obviously, how could it not be? But like, it was so well done all around. It was such a monumentally like impactful story, and it was delivered in such a like professional and beautiful I don't know the word for it, but like medium communication form. It's gorgeous. You just did such an incredible job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shalea, I just want to say this was such an amazing piece. And I guess I don't have much of a question, but another comment. Like, for this being like a kind of like first go at film, like, wow, like, you know,
I
this
had
is
good help.
But yeah, you know, regardless of that, like, such an incredible story, so well done, presented in an amazing way. And like, I guess, you know, when I think about how important and how integral film is to like culture and society, it's like examples like these that really like push it home. And thank you for being so vulnerable and for doing this. And honestly, I'm really glad to have been in the cohort with you, like even more so now. Like, oh, this was just amazing. Like one of those films you remember for a really, really, really long time. So thank you for making it, and thank you for showing us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And I enjoyed being in a cohort with all you guys. Thank you so much.
What was the most challenging part of making your film?
I think believing in myself. In the beginning, it was really hard to watch the film and decide if it was a good enough. Like, so having you there, thank you, Bobby, for being there. You made it understandable that people don't see that type of, you know, in the hospital. Nobody sees that. So I'm grateful the hospital let me do that. And I think that was the most complicated part, was just, I guess, seeing me for me, you know, and accepting it and realizing there is a story there. So, yeah.
I believe you said in part of the film that you were at a crossroads and one choice was stepping into a creator's role for you, and I'm wondering how that looks for you now.
Yeah, that goes along with, you know, my grandma, like I said in the beginning, always talks about balance. You know, she always talks about the balance, you know, our traditions, our customs, you know, and I kind of discussed that in there, how I was steering away and pulling away as soon as she passed. So yeah, the crossroads, I gotta have that faith. It's, you know, the lessons you were taught growing up. And are you following those lessons, or are you just remembering those lessons? Are you practicing, or are you just speaking? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I had to quit thinking and speaking and more doing, you know what I mean? So making that effort, I guess. So yeah, in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm blown away at this cohort. I don't know if y'all are, but we definitely need another round of applause for everyone, because that was fabulous. Wow. 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 Six wows for 6 really amazing projects. I was crying, I was laughing, I was crying again. It was amazing. If you want to see this again, there will be another cohort, right? They're going to start in August. And their screening is going to be in January, so keep your ears and eyes open for announcements about that screening, so you can come support more and more of these amazing projects and people. And also in January is when the next application opens for the next cohort. So if you think this is something you'd like to do, I know there's lots of new folks here, you can do it. All these folks did this. You can do this too. And just another reminder for all the cohort participants, all 6 of y'all, stay here, because we have a production bag for you after this event, and it's going to help you keep going and doing all kinds of things. So please stick around. There's also pictures in Studio B if you haven't taken pictures yet. And I think you're all going to be famous, so I kind of want to get a picture with all of you so I can prove that I knew you once. And if you're interested in more offerings that Open Signal has, you can go to our website, www.opensignalpdx.org. You can check out our calendar events for community events where you can connect with others just like you. And you can also sign up for our newsletter, as well as look at our classes to see if there's other things of interest to you outside of this cohort. And, we have a mission here at Open Signal, which is that we nurture the change-making power of community media for a just and equitable world. And, all of our programs really do that, but this cohort wouldn't be in service of that mission without somebody really, really special. So I know you hate this, but Melissa, could you please come up, please, because we've got something for you from your cohort. Melissa's our cohort facilitator, and this wonderful group of creatives have signed a card for you, thanking you, and got these beautiful flowers for you. I'm just going to invite you to say a few words because it wouldn't be happening without you.
Sorry, guys, I'm a little short. Camille is right. This is the part that always gets me a little, because I love being behind the scenes. I love working with people. As you can see, stories become personal, whether they're written in a script for other people to, portray those feelings and those emotions of what someone was thinking, or it is your own personal story. I told my own personal story coming into this cohort. Never thought it would lead to me actually filling the full-time position here. And I was just like, wow, okay, I know how I want to go about this job. I know what I want to do. And every time I meet a whole nother round of cohort folks, I'm like, what do you want to do? It could be a really big thing, or it could be something as far as just saying, I don't know. I know I said I want to tell this story, but it might turn into this, and we roll with it. The only thing that I tell people I can't do for you is I can't make the decision. I can't tell your story. I can't say, yep, that's the way to go. Everything I saw here tonight was so much growth from the folks who walked in that door 5 months ago. Going to use my little cheat sheet here because I have something to say about everyone. And this is the first time. I normally try to run off the podium. Thank y'all, it was so great. And I run backstage. But, with Jay, you have this incredible story and this collective that you're working with, and it is needed. It's one of those things of we don't really talk about it. For me, I'm more aware of what natural disaster is, just being where I grew up at, the community that I come from. I'm from Texas, so just knowing what's been in the news, that is very real to me and, affects me. So thank you. Thank you for trying to prepare the community. Thank you for bringing it to light and being a part of a collective like that that's saying, hey, this is needed and we need to be talking about it. With Alex, I was like, all right, I think I get this, but let's go out and do it. And I do. I'll go out on location with cohort members if that's what's asked of me. And when we went out there, you're like, well, it's not that far to be okay. And Alex had me hiking down a ravine. The biggest growth I've seen in you is thank you for the pictures now when you're like, do you think we'll be able to go here and support me here? Because I was like, this is very challenging and we're gonna, so thank you. Because even being out there, I got to see how you work. I got to see that you're putting your all into this, and I'm like, you just keep going. Just keep doing it. Corinne, oh my God, there's so much that you can say about Eric, and there's so much that you shared with me about Eric, that when you came into this studio, you were like, there's just very specific things that I want to get accomplished. That for most of you who don't know, we also have a backside, which is our production services, and they have different sets of lights and things like that. And what she was wanting to do, I went back there and was like, hey, I need support. Oh, we got you. Here are these lights. Britt, who's in, supporting me right now in the control room, also was like, can I help? Sure. Shalea was here. And the moments of, you know, dance party, or even when you see in, you know, sorry, I think about it and I'm like, man, you were so great in the studio tackling so much emotion over someone you lost, that I was like, this is amazing. And the grief work that you do is amazing. So thank you for that. And also thank you for just understanding what a previous cohort member has been through without meeting them, and being so open to say, hey, let's sit down and talk. I can't thank you enough for that. Alexandra, though, where are you hiding at? When Alexandra first came in, very quiet, y'all. Barely could get a word out. I don't know, like just like that. I don't know. Let's see. When they came to submit and I let them know, you know you're the first one. What? No. Smile. Same smile right now. Can't take the smile off their face. And even just hearing y'all laugh, the reception, you know, like, I was like, if you don't see what you did there, if y'all don't see what y'all did there, thank y'all for supporting her. Thank you for being there. You know, like, just the confidence of, well, I went and did this in school, but I don't know about now. Keep doing it. Like, I think it's an amazing series. It could be a web series. It could be a lot. Like, just keep doing it. And if you mess up, it's okay, because we are here to learn. So nobody's going to see it unless you want them to see it, right? Shalea. I don't know. I just want to hug you. I want to say, hey, like, you have so much that you give to the community. You have so much you want to say, and I see you wanting to say it all right now. It's okay. There's way, way too many people here who are like, you know what? How can we support you? And after tonight, I don't think that there's a doubt in my mind that if you even put out there, Switchboard, the internet, whatever, I need help with an editor, or I need help, you know, going out there and getting this film, people are gonna jump up and be like, hey, because the bravery that you've shown to show all of that, and they're right, people don't see the hospital. People don't see the afterwards. People don't see the thoughts that go through your head when you are dealing with something like that. And to be that vulnerable to share that with people in a room. So I'm trying not to cry, because I have my own battles that people don't see. But every last one of you in this cohort has inspired me through a time even now where I was questioning many things. But I really love doing this job and just standing by people when they're like, I have a story, but I don't know how to do it. So thank y'all. And this has literally been the longest I've talked at this podium. Yeah. But I will see y'all out there for pictures, okay? Thank y'all so much.
What a wonderful night. Y'all are awesome. Please grab some more snackies and mingle in the lobby, and we'll let you know when you have to leave. But please talk with one another, celebrate. You deserve it. This was amazing, and we'll see you here hopefully in January for the next one. Have a wonderful evening. Love y'all. Mwah. That was so good, y'all. Jeez Louise. Never felt so many things all at once.